Hello everyone. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you all are doing good today. Today in this video I am going to discuss and demonstrate about detection and blocking of potentially unwanted applications using Microsoft Defender. Before proceeding further, let's discuss what all we'll be discussing and demonstrating in this video. In this video I'll be discussing what are potentially unwanted applications and how Microsoft identify potentially unwanted applications running on Windows and devices. Then we'll be talking about how you can configure devices across your organizations to block potentially unwanted applications. At the end, I will be demonstrating how you can validate if the configuration you did is really working and how it will be impacting your devices. So let's start discussing them one by one. Potentially unwanted applications are not really a virus, malware, or any other threat to your device. Then you might be wondering if the applications which are not really a virus, malware, or not causing any other threat to your device is really a big point of concern. Then I will say yes. Actually, potentially unwanted applications can make your device to run slowly, can display unexpected advertisements to the user, can install any other software which can be more harmful or annoying to the users. Then they can even impact users' privacy, security, productivity, and can put unwanted stress on the on your device resources. In totality, they can adversely affect your device performance or use. As we're talking about Microsoft Defender, let's find out how Microsoft identify whether the files you're downloading or executing is really a potential unwanted applications. Microsoft uses specific categories and the category definitions to classify whether the software is a potentially unwanted application or not. It checks if the software is a advertising software that can display advertisements, promotions, and can prompt users to complete surveys for other products or services, or can insert advertisements to web pages. It can be torrent software that uses technologies like peer-to-peer file sharing to download torrents or other files. Or it can be a crypto mining software that uses user device resources to mine cryptocurrencies. It can be bundling software that can offer users to install other softwares, or it can be marketing software that keep monitoring and transmitting the activities of the users to applications or services for the marketing and research purposes. Or it can be a software that actively tries to evade detections by security products. It can be a software which has a poor industry reputation. Microsoft and other organizations in the security industries, they keep continuously exchange knowledge about the files they have analyzed. This helps them to provide users with the best possible protection. So now we know that what are potentially unwanted applications and how Microsoft recognize these potential unwanted applications on the devices. Let's discuss the possible ways you can configure a Windows 10 device to block the potential unwanted applications. You can configure a Windows 10 device to block potential unwanted applications either using Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Configuration Manager, Active Directory group policies, or using PowerShell. So let's start configuring using Microsoft Intune first. Let's log into endpoint.microsoft.com and start the configuration now. To do the configuration, what we need to do, we need to create a profile for Windows 10 device. Let's go to devices, Windows 10, configuration profile. Let's create a new profile here, and we want to make it create a new profile for Windows 10 or later PCs. Select the templates and search for device restrictions. Click on next. and scroll down, and you will get an option of Microsoft Defender antivirus like this one. And just scroll down. We have an option detect potentially unwanted application. Now, you can turn it off, you can enable it, and you can uh, configure it in audit mode. Once you configure this potential detection of potential unwanted application in audit mode, in that case, it will detect the potentially unwanted application, but it won't block it. But you can check all the that whether or not you can check the Windows events to verify whether detection is working fine or not. So let's configure it in enable mode in this demo. Click on next and let's assign it to a group. You can assign it for, you can configure it for all the devices. But if you want to configure it for a selected devices, in that case, you can create a group and make all those devices a member of it. So I already have a group that is called endpoint security devices for this demo purpose only. And I have two Windows 10 devices in it. Click on next. You can assign this profile based on some applicability rule. You can choose, but in this case, I'm not going to configure any applicability rule here. Let's click on next and create it. In between, let's say in between the sync happen, let's have a look on the devices as well. So I have these two VMs running, and these two VMs are part of that endpoint security devices group. Start the other one as well. If I go to security app, check for app and browser control, reputation based protection settings, and you will see that right now this is turned off on this device. Similarly, let me check on this device as well, app and browser control. So right now this is turned on, but it is not managed by administrator or not managed by Intune. You can even disable it, right? User can even just turn it off. So let me sync the devices now. If we don't want to wait, we can sync it manually, or we can wait for some time and then it will get synced. Let me sync the device. Similarly, let me start the syncing here as well. Now let's see the status on the console. So right now it is in the pending state. Let's wait for some time. So let's validate one more time. Okay, so both of the devices have the deployment status as succeeded. Let's validate on the devices now. If I go back to the devices and just close this, let's go to the security app again. So now if you see this, then the settings is managed by your administrator. It means now Microsoft Intune is managing the settings, and these are blocked now. So we have blocked the applications, and we can also configure blocking the downloads as well from the Microsoft Intune console. So this is the configuration you need to do when you wanted to configure it using Microsoft Intune. And now let's see how we can do it from using Microsoft Active Directory group policies. In the last section of this video, we covered how we can configure the protection against the potential unwanted application on the Windows 10 devices using Microsoft Intune. In this section, what we'll be covering how you can configure group policies to protect your devices against potentially unwanted applications. So let's log into the domain controller, and we'll see the configuration first on the devices. So this is my domain controller, and let me share and this is my device, Windows 10 device. If I go to security app here, And if I go to app and browser control, reputation based protection settings, then I can see this is turned off, right? So let me go ahead and on my domain controller and create a group policies, and which will be pushing this policy onto the device to get this option configured. Let's go to group policy management, and this device is part of my this organization unit, that is app-VM. Let me create a group policy first. Let's name it as client protection policy, and let's edit the settings now. If I go to policies under computer configuration, under administrative templates, Windows components, and if you scroll down, we have an option of Windows Defender Antivirus, and under Windows Defender Antivirus, we have an option called uh, this name, potentially unwanted application, configure detection for potentially unwanted applications. Let me enable this setting now. As we already discussed that we can configure it either in the block mode or audit mode. So I'm not going to discuss the block mode and edit mode now, and let me just block it, right? Apply and okay. Let me go to the onto the device now. So this is my device app-vm04, and let me update the policies. So this is the way how you can configure the settings using group policies. Let me show you how you can do the same similar configuration using PowerShell commands as well. So let me disable the group policy first. I'm going to disable it now. Okay, and let me go to the client and again update the policies. So now it is disabled, right? So the settings are disabled now. Let me show you how you can do it for using the PowerShell command. Let me open the PowerShell command. So if I enable this, then you can see now this is enabled, and if I use disabled option here, so the settings are disabled now. So till now we have covered all these options, and now the configuration is already in place. Let me show you how you can validate the settings as well, right? Let me talk about, because that's the real thing which till the time you don't see the impact on the devices, you won't be able to relate it in your live environment. So let's go to www.microsoft.com, and we have multiple test scenarios available here. So as we want to test the potentially unwanted application configuration is working on my devices or not, so let me go to this section, and it will take me to a different site. This is the scenario section, and this is the requirement, and let's go. This website provides you a link to download an application. So if I download the application, it is asking me whether you want to uh, keep the file or you want to discard it, right? Because Google Chrome itself do some checks and whether the downloads is from the trusted scenario, trusted websites or not. So that's the reason why it has given you a prompt here. So if you want to keep it, you can keep it. So if I see now, I can, there's a file which is available here, right? So this is a potential unwanted application, and because we have disabled the settings, so that's the reason why we are able to download it now. Let me, and if I go here under virus and threat protection, if I see the protection history, I don't see any option. I don't see any uh, event here as well. So let me delete this file and enable the settings. Once I have the settings enabled, it's okay. So I have enabled the settings, and if I try to download the same file again, let's see what happens. So let's keep it. Oh, failed, right? The virus Defender, Microsoft Defender antivirus detected a virus threat here. If I go to my virus and threat protection now and try to see the protection history, I can see this the application has been blocked. The program has potentially unwanted behavior, and that's the reason why it blocked this configuration. So in this video, we talked about what are potentially unwanted application and how Microsoft identify potential unwanted applications. Then we talked about the configuration, how you can, the different ways how you can configure your devices against this threat, and at the end we have validated the settings as well. I hope this video will be informative for you. Please do share and subscribe if in case if you find worth sharing it. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.